What's going on, everybody? We got the right layout now. We got Azimrakes with us. We got the Week 8 deep dive going on with our with the NFL. I would say that this week is fairly difficult with the spreads. So, Azim, how are we feeling this week for Week 8?
I'm excited for it. As you know, I told you a while ago that some of my trends I was misreading, and now I've fixed those trends. And even more importantly, we're turning it around entirely, and we're making more and more profits. My only concern is, as we discussed before the show, the accuracy of which these lines are at right now, because that is it is concerning because these lines are just perfectly set, and so it's like there's not much value to be able to obtain.
Right. Yeah. For Vasquez, 23. Drop the play. I will drop the play. It's going to be about 10 minutes or so. I really want to get as many viewers in here as possible. Then I'll drop the prop play of the night in the NBA. It's a great position for. It's in the Pacers Nets game, so I'll tease that for a little bit. But it'll be a player prop in there. Let me know if you guys can guess it. Go ahead. But no, that's what I'll end up doing. But we will deep dive currently with the NFL, and then I'll hop back in to give out that free play for sure. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's a first time chat viewer, so appreciate you for Vasquez 23. So we'll go to the highest spread of Week 8. Currently, we got the Rams and the Texans. And if you guys have not tuned in before and listened to Azim's breakdown of double-digit spreads and why they are profitable, Azim, take it away.
First of all, there's actually there's a couple of big favorites this week that are not going to be profitable. I have a ton of trends against them. So
What?
the Rams might be one of those situations. It's not guaranteed that they're going to be a play as of right now. However, for the Rams, the basic reason why the big spreads are profitable is because if you could put up 16 for one, you could put up 24. But point being, a lot of people think 16 is too many points. So the public naturally shies away from taking these big spreads and rather will tease them down. And teases are fine, but Vegas knows that they don't. If they're gonna value something, they might as well value the dog of anything, right? And so, because they're gonna be teased anyways, rather than taken straight up. So if they're gonna value something, they might as well value the dog, undervalue the dog, which inadvertently causes value on the favorite. But to bring this game up, and we're looking at the Texans, right? They've lost by 26 in their last one. 28 in the one before. Then they played the Patriots and lost to them by
That was
3.
bullshit.
And then they lost by 40 to the Bills. And the Panthers, the very crappy Panthers, they lost to them by 13. Wow. This is a no-brainer for me, like in terms of just value on this play. I would much rather prefer the minus 16.5 here. Again, I play my trends more than anything. So if the case may be by game time that I don't play them, then I won't play them. But intuitively speaking, I'd much rather prefer the minus 16.5 here.
Yeah, and it was minus 14 this morning. I was going through all the lines and making sure anything is moved up until the show. And yeah, this one got steamed because of Davis Mills being confirmed the starter, and Tyrod is out probably another week or so. Yeah, I can't personally lay 16.5. I don't feel very comfortable with it. I was thinking about even teasing, the Cardinals last night with this Rams team or with the Bills team because they were both at 14. I could tease it down to maybe a single touchdown game, but ended up staying away from that. Luckily did because the Cardinals offense got stymied by the Green Bay's defense. That was a game last night. I don't know what happened there. But
I like the Bills Rams teaser personally.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a very popular teaser this week for sure. I am going to lean to maybe a touchdown score in this game. I'll give that out. Probably is going to be a square play. I don't care. It's going to hit. It's Darrell Henderson minus 140. I'm okay with that. This should be like in the 200 range. but he was the 200 range last week, and he didn't score, so it got corrected, and he's going to at least get one this week. There was a weak matchup last week against the Lions, and for whatever reason, he did not score. Just the game script was a little bit off, but I think Darrell Henderson, if you do any player props, touchdown parlay props, you could kind of put him in as your anchor, I think. I like Henderson at -140.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think the Rams are going to put up enough touchdowns so where everybody's going to kind of get a little share of the ball.
What do we got? Next game, we got a pretty big divisional matchup here. Steelers at the Browns. So, Steelers at Browns. When I first saw this line, I was like, how the hell am I not going to take the Steelers +4? Deep diving into it, I'm very hesitant in this game. Nick Chubb practiced in full today. No injury designation for him. So it's going to be the same old Nick Chubb, and it should be Dearness Johnson being the RB2 there. You are going to see this game be a dogfight. You're going to see a bunch of hard hits, a lot of runs, and maybe some deep balls that Big Ben will try to throw. I don't think he's going to get there. Ultimately, I'm not going to take it at 4 or -4 for the Browns. I want to wait and see if there is a 3.5 or a 3 till Sunday. That's my thinking behind it. But I mean, otherwise, you could take the under because Baker is going to play with that torn labrum on his left shoulder. I don't think he's 100% healthy. He's going to try to tough it out, but they're going to lean heavily on that run game once again.
I entirely agree with you, but I don't see Big Ben. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Big Ben, and as much as I am a fan of Mike Tomlin, I still see the Browns developing their run game and making some problems for the Steelers and their defense. I do like this -4 more than anything, being at home and just the Steelers are a really crap team, and I think they've proven time in time out that they can't handle the pressures of these big games, and being a divisional matchup as big as it is, I don't think they're going to be able to come prepared and be able to handle it. And if Baker, I agree with you, he's not 100%. I don't think he is by any means, but like in the sense that even if I feel like we're more likely to be surprised by a few of his throws rather than underwhelmed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I do like the Browns.
Yeah, there's just a lot of injuries on the Browns side. Landry and OBJ, we don't know if they're going to play or not. There's just a lot of question marks that I probably won't take a stab on this game until Sunday. If I do, just want to verify everything. I really, really like Deontay Johnson this week, just because I think he's going to get a lot of targets, a lot of short passes to him. I mean, so does Vegas thinks the same thing. It's over 6.5 his receptions, which is very high. But I think he could get close to 8 or 9 this week, just because they're going to have to pepper him. They're going to take their deep shots with Claypool, but Deontay is going to be the one. Him and Najee move the chains. But I mean, they're also thinking Chubb is going to be 100% healthy too. His over/under rush yards is 87.5. So I like to look at props to see how Vegas thinks the game will end up going, and obviously they think it's going to be a heavy dose of run from the Cleveland side, and then you have Najee taking a lot of volume out of the pass game and the run game. But ultimately, I'm going to wait on this game and just dissect what I find on the Browns injury reports and whatnot, and see. But the line jumped a little bit because Baker was indeed active today. It was at +3.5, and I was hoping to maybe get a 3, but I don't know if I'm going to end up getting a 3 or not.
You mean -3?
Yeah, either way. Yeah. Yep. So I'll break down the Eagles-Lions right here, and then I'll give out my play for the viewers. And let us know if you guys have any questions over the NFL. We are going to deep dive into each and every game. If you guys have any prop questions, if you have any spread, total question, anything that you guys got, Survivor, pick 'em, let us know. We'd like to hear from you guys in the comments. So appreciate you guys tuning in. But the Eagles at the Detroit Lions. Do the Lions get their first win of the season, Azim?
Um, Dude, they don't look like an 0-17. They don't look like an 0-17. I want to say yes. I want to say yes. I think this Eagle team is a letdown. I think they're probably just getting love because of recency bias with the Lions. The Lions, again, don't look like a 0-17. They might have to be the best 0-17 in the history
Yeah.
of, 0-7 teams. Um, I expect the Lions to come out and play as I mean, here's my concern, right? I mean, they are 0-7. So like are they just going to throw in the towel and just try to tank from here on out? Because that's what I would do. I mean, you're asking me to win out and go 10-7 and still possibly not have a chance at the playoffs. Like not only is I mean winning out is not
No.
that easy. So if I'm the administration, if I'm the coaching staff, and I'm looking at this situation, 10-7 might not even get me into the playoffs. And now you're telling me to win out. I would just choose to tank.
Oh yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
they're definitely not. They're they're definitely not making the playoffs or whatnot. I. But if you watched last game against the Rams, Dan Campbell is putting together some crazy plays. They had some fake punts, an onside kick
right.
that they try to do. I mean, they're going to try to do a lot of that stuff just to kind of just get some momentum on their side. And I can see them doing the same thing here, and the Eagles could get blindsided a little bit. I mean, they
Yeah.
should have beat the Ravens. They've given the Rams a run for their money. They also had a different or a closer game early on in the season. I mean, they should not be a defeated team. They should not be 0-7. And this Eagles team is disappointed week in and week out. Miles Sanders is out, and you don't know who's going to take over that backfield. If you make the Eagles be one-dimensional, Jalen Hurts has already shown that he cannot be a throwing quarterback in this league, an accurate throwing quarterback, especially on the deep balls. So,
Right.
if they can, but what they do, what the Lions do suck at is defending the run. So, if Boston Scott, if Kenneth Gainwell, if Jordan Howard, and then Hurts himself takes over and runs, then I see this as an easy cover for the Eagles with a Lions team that's probably not as motivated as many in the NFL. So it's a
If this was week one, I would take the Lions. And what I mean by that is that if records and these past few games don't play a position in this situation, then I take the Lions, no doubt, right? If we somehow rewind this back to week one. But it's not. And the Lions are 0-7, and they have to consider what is the chance of us going to playoffs. But I mean, at the same time, you could go to the, you could get a high draft pick being 1-16. They are at home, so what's to stop them from winning a game for their fans? You know, um, so I mean, all in all, I don't know where this Lions team's
right.
heads at, and for that purpose, I'm gonna choose to, for the most part, stay away. I'm gonna play a side on the total, and I'm gonna hope. I think I have the over in
Over,
this.
really. That's man.
Yeah.
I think that's where I was trending on going maybe to the over, but man, I don't know. I just can't trust it. Just can't trust this Eagles team.
Well, for me, the reason over was because if the Lions come out and want to play,
It's true.
they want to play some football, then they're gonna
Right.
put up points, or they're gonna choose not to play some football, and then they're going to allow the Eagles to
Yeah.
put up points. So either way, I like the over more than anything, but I got it at 48, not 48 and a half. I got it at 48. I don't really like it as much at 48 and a half because 48 is a tremendously key
Right.
number, right? 27-21 is 48. 24-24 is 48. 23, no, 25 is not. Never mind. 25 is not a key number.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, you get the point. So 48 is a key number. So I don't really like it as much at 48 and a half, but 48, 47 and a half, I like the over there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I think this game defines the Lions' future, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what the Lions choose to do here. Do they choose to win the game, or at least put up a fight, or do they choose to just kind of crash and burn the season and say we're going to try again next year, get a high draft pick, maybe replace the quarterback, fix a quarterback situation, come back next year and see what we
Right.
can do.
Yeah. And some props that I was looking at, was trying to see. So reception yards with Swift and Gainwell. Gainwell's going to get a lot of volume this week, especially in the pass game. 33.5 is not a bad play here. I was looking for more of his receptions, and they're not up yet on DK. And Swift as well. Swift had like 10 or 8 to 10 targets a game, so I'm looking for his receptions to come up on there. If it's anywhere between the 4 or 5 range, I'm going to take the over on that. I love me some DeAndre Swift. He's finally priced up in on DFS for DraftKings. He was usually in the 6,000 range. Now he's in the 7,100 range. So I finally caught up to him, but I still am going to keep going back to him. He just gets all that garbage time. He gets all those passes late in the game, dump downs, goes for 20, 15, 10 yards here and there. So
he's a huge reason I'm winning a bunch of my fantasy
and
leagues.
He starts out so shitty. You'll be like, God dang it, why did I play Swift this week? And then all of a sudden, boom, he ends up at 20 plus fantasy points. You're like, where the hell did that come from? It was all the garbage time. But hey, garbage time counts in the fantasy world, so we love that.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to give out my free play here for the NBA. Game starts in like 20 minutes or so with the Pacers at the Nets, and I'm going to drop it here. Sabonis over 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I'm going to give you guys the props.cash bot in our Discord. So if you want to join the Discord, go to my link tree on Twitter, and you guys can join for free. This is just a place where everybody hangs out and we shoot the shit every single day. It's nice, it's fun, and Sabonis has hit this in 7 of his last 10 games. Last game against the Raptors, I was on his point total, 20.5, and he had the worst game I think I've ever seen him play. He only shot the ball 4 times. For whatever reason, I don't know why, his usage rate was just abysmal. But no, there's no Brogdon tonight. LeVert is out, and the Nets suck against big men. So this is a great play. I like this play a lot. I actually gave it out to my VIP. This was 37.5. It actually is 38.5, so that's the play I'm going to give out. But no, I'm giving it to you guys out of VIP, so VIP play. So appreciate you guys checking in. Stay along so as we dissect the rest of the NFL slate. Azim, you like that play? Tell me you hate it.
I do.
Tell me you hate it and why.
Actually. No, I like it.
Oh, all right. So we got the 49ers at the Bears. I think this is the shittiest game of the Sunday.
Yeah.
Of course, it'll probably be a 60-point total that everybody goes bonkers in this game. But this game is just straight ugly, in my opinion. You don't know who's starting for the 49ers. I assume it's Jimmy G. Trey Lance is active, so it's going to be kind of a mix and match. I favor the 49ers here because the Bears just do not do anything to move the needle. They just don't trust Justin Fields whatsoever. I don't know what happened from the preseason to all the drama with Andy Dalton starting, and now they let Fields go, and now I feel like they're constricting his kind of play, his ability as a quarterback. He loves to go play action, loves to go bootleg, and they don't do any of that. He just sits there in the pocket and he doesn't get out, and it frustrates me to watch this Bears team. So I lean the 49ers here, but the -4 is not a very good number. What do you think, Azim?
I don't like anything in this game. Total spread, anything, just simply because of what you said. Just to note again, you don't know, even as of right now, you don't know the lineups, you don't know what the play style is going to be. Fields is being restricted. Otherwise, I actually like the Bears, right? If Fields isn't being restricted, I like the Bears. But we've seen this happen for about a few weeks now, and he just doesn't look like, he doesn't look like the Justin Fields that we expected him to be, and that's simply because of the coaching and the administration in Chicago. So, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to address it. And, I mean, there's just so many things up in the air about this game that I can't actively take anything.
This is encouraging, though. Yeah. So I didn't know this. I just did this in the prop bot. So the over-under for Fields' rushing yards is 30.5. Mm-hmm. Last 2 games, he's gotten 43 and 38. So maybe he has been a little bit more active. Not a bad idea here. As he rolls out, maybe they are starting to get him a little bit more. Not terrible.
Yes.
That was a surprising thing. I wanted to see if it was because the 12, 9, and the 4. That's what I have in my head. And I guess the last two games he's actually gotten a little bit more. So maybe they,
Well, he's played the Buccaneers and the
yeah,
Packers last two
they've been
games, and those are pretty good rush defenses. Before that, it was the Raiders, the Lions, and the Browns.
Raiders, Lions, Brown. Yep. Yeah. I mean, that was just more encouraging to
Because
see, I guess.
making him flush
Yep.
out, then they, if the 49ers force him to flush out, then he might hit his over
Yeah.
30 and a half.
Fields is on my bench in fantasy, and I we play in a half-point PPR. He got me a total of 0 points last week against the Bucks. I mean, it's impossible to do, really, as a quarterback. He got
Right.
me 0. So yeah, I'm off this game completely as well. Maybe that rush total from Fields surprised me, and it could potentially be a prop play if I get a little bit more into it. I mean, if you told me that Allen Robinson had a prop total of 40.5 as a receiving total, how insane is that? It's Allen Robinson. You would think it'd be like in the
Right.
60s or 70s. Now it's in the 40s.
Right.
It's horrible. That's just crazy.
Yeah. I have him on a couple of teams, man, for fantasy, and it's
Oh yeah,
kind
you're
of
probably pissed
hurts.
off.
Yeah. Well, what's even worse is I used to have Elijah Mitchell too, because I didn't draft him. I picked him up on the waiver, and then I decided I'm going to drop him for Trey Sermon.
Hmm.
Um, and that didn't work out in my favor.
I'm gonna see what he's done. Yeah, so the whole game he's gone over 40.5 yards twice this season. Twice.
Yeah.
That's incredibly horrible. That's so shitty.
Yeah.
All right, to a game that I have an official play on. I like this matchup. Two teams that are going in the opposite direction here, and that is the Falcons here. I'm going to take them at -3. It was at 2.5 earlier in the week, and I waited, and I'm just going to go ahead and take them at -3 here. Azim favors the Panthers here, and I want to hear him first. I want to.
So I favored the Panther till you brought up that it was Sam
There you go,
Darnold
yeah.
starting. I'm not a big fan of Darnold. However, even with him starting, I wouldn't take a side on this personally. The Falcons, although they look better, still had a lot of woes, a lot of struggles. And the Panthers, they still have Chuba Hubbard. They are still going to be able to run the ball regardless. And I don't know if the Falcons can necessarily stop them. For me, there's just too much in the air for this game. If the Panthers are not starting Sam Darnold, then they're starting who's the other backup? Who's their
I
other
don't even
quarterback?
know who the other quarterback is for him. Oh no, it's PJ Walker. Sorry, PJ Walker. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. He looked decent at the end of last game. So if they're starting him, I'd rather take the Panthers. I think, going in with like a little bit more of a rookie manifestation, and the fact that, not really rookie manifestation, but second team, starting Chuba Hubbard and Walker, and just having them do their thing. I would take the Panthers, but if you're going with Sam Darnold, I'm not a big believer on him. I used to be a huge believer about him. But I've seen enough to know that he's just not a good quarterback. I've seen enough. I can't ask for more. But I would stay away. Because I do expect, I don't see the Falcons being able to stop the Panthers' run. And the Falcons, again, they surprise me every week. Games that they should win by ease or with ease, they fail to do so. Games they should be able to manage. Clock management, horrible. Just penalties,
Oh yeah.
stupid. I'm not gonna trust the Falcons. I wouldn't trust them.
So the
At
Falcons
all.
are like the Atlanta Hawks for me. Every time I don't bet them, they absolutely cover. And then every time I do bet the Falcons or the Hawks, they never ever cover. So I'm hoping to change it here, but I just think these are two teams going in the opposite direction. The Falcons are figuring out who they are as a team. They are using Patterson and Mike Davis correctly now, and they haven't even gotten the best usage out of Calvin Ridley. I think that's the piece that once that gets going, this team could potentially put up significant amount of points every single week, like they have been. But they finally have used Kyle Pitts correctly. They've just said, hey, go deep. You're going to be on some smaller cornerbacks and smaller safeties, and we're going to throw it up to you. But they've stopped trying to use him as a tight end, and they put him out wide, and they've successfully used Kyle Pitts the last several weeks. I think he's gone over 100 yards receiving the last two games, and it's over a 61.5. I like that again here. Again, the Panthers defense is overrated. I don't know how many times I have to say that on a weekly basis. They played 3 really quality shitty teams in the beginning of the season, and they got their stats all crazy up there, and everyone's like, oh, this is a top 5 defense. It's not. They've lost 4 straight since.
Yeah.
Just keep pounding against them. So I like the Falcons here. If you want to go the total, I like the over. The Falcons give up 29 points a game as well. So 46.5, probably not the greatest. Probably not the greatest here, but could I see it being 28-21, something like that, 28-24, easily. So that's kind of where I like in this game. I like either the Falcons -3 are an official play, and then the over 46.5 is a secondary play if you want to play that.
Yeah, no, I'd stay away from this entirely.
As I gave out 2 plays. I love it. All right, so then we got the Dolphins at the Bills here. This is a great setup for a game stack in DFS. So this is a one-sided game stack that I'll do. Is I'll play a lot of the Bills side here, and then I'll come back with either Waddle or Gesicki for the Dolphins. So it'll be an Allen, a Diggs, and a Sanders, or it'll be an Allen, Diggs, Beasley, and you just kind of rotate that with a comeback of Waddle and Gesicki. I think this game could get out of hand pretty quickly. But that favors those game stacks, and I like the Bills here. It's not an official play for me, but I just think the Bills, they just absolutely own the Dolphins. Last time they played, it was like a 35-0 game. They just know exactly what to do against this team. So, Azim, how do you feel?
So I'm going to be a little greedy here, and I'm going to wait for the -13.5. But like you said, last time they played, they won 35-0, and it was this season. So, I expect more or less the same thing, right? I mean, the Dolphins sure are a little bit better, but are they better enough to take that 35-point margin and reduce it to a 14-point margin rather even a 15-point margin? I don't think so. I still think this is a 3-touchdown win at the very minimum, but I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to try to ask for the -13.5. If I don't get the -13.5, then, I'll take it at whatever, but the Bills are an official play. They are an official play. Just depending.
Just a second. I gotta go upstairs real quick. The young one is screaming and yelling, so just take over for just a second. I'll be right back.
Right, I got you. But yeah, I would entirely take the Bills in this situation. And what I also find interesting with this, I like to look at a lot of the money percentages for any of my bets. So the Bills are getting 79% of the money right now, which is shows to be a very public favorite. But they're also getting 91% of the money right now. So I mean, when it comes down to it, I think 35 points given the Bills. In my opinion, the Bills are the greatest team in the NFL right now. And then the Cowboys, and then the Cardinals. And so, the Dolphins are definitely in the bottom 5 of that, and I don't see the Dolphins coming close to the Bills. Let me break down something. So, going off of market projections for this game, this is really fun. 31.5 to 17.5, so really 32 to 18, which really implies 31 and 17. I don't see the Dolphins putting up 17. I mean, when have they last put up 17? This is going to be really fun.
Whew. Gotta love kids. Gotta love them.
So they put up 28 against the Falcons, 20 against the Jaguars, 17 against the Buccaneers, 17 against the Colts, and 28 against the Raiders. Never mind. Dolphins have put up points before. So, I don't know. Now I'm interested. But I'm still taking the Bills for sure.
Yeah.
You good?
Sorry.
What are you typing out?
Yeah.
Sabonis?
I'm giving out to the Discord too because I love them.
Oh.
Sorry, the guys asked me if I had a play. Had to give it to him. All right. Yeah. So Dolphins at the Bills. Azim broke it down. I Another play that I'm actually thinking of is this first half. It was 7 earlier today. It's now 7.5. The Bills are 5-1 against the spread this season um, in the first half spread. So get out to a quick lead. I would obviously like to get the 7, but it was a 7.5, so I'm going to wait on this number now. Can anyone?
Hey, Doc, question about your
Yeah,
Discord.
yeah. Anybody can join. It's free. It's just it's linked in my link tree on Twitter, or if you want to go to the main page on Twitch, just click that link and you're in, man. We got the props.cash bot in there to make some more decisions on props, so it's been fun. Yeah, anybody can join, man. All right, so let's go to the next game. We got all right, Bengals at the Jets. I think this is I hope it's not a letdown game for the Bengals. I really hope it's not because I truly like this Bengals team a lot. I was on them 2-unit play for VIP last week at the Ravens, just plus 6.5. An outrageous line that they should not have been 6.5 points dogs there. Ended up outright winning, dominating that game. And now they lay 11 points at the Jets, who are starting Mike White at quarterback. Man, oh man, 11 points is a weird spread. I think it was 10 at some point. Now it got juiced up to 11. I could still see this being a 2-touchdown victory for the Bengals. What do you think? What do you think, Azim?
For me, I have an official play on the Bengals. I just don't
Yeah,
like that
it's a
minus
weird
11.
number, man.
Super. I'd rather. I mean, a lot of books have it first of all at minus 10.5. So to see this at minus 11, I just don't like it because I see that there's less value here. But even more so, the fact that they have it at minus 10.5, I'm hoping to find that minus 10. I'll take the minus 10 very gladly. That's the second official play for your stream, is Bengals minus 10. And I think that the Jets are going to continue to struggle and have their woes. And, the Bengals have been underappreciated time in and time out, including last week, as you mentioned. I think they're a much better team than people are giving them credit for. And I think this is one of those weeks where, again, they're being undervalued. So I'm going to continue to jump on this Bengals cash cow. First, it was the Cowboys for me. Now it's been the Bengals, and I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to take the Bengals minus 10. If it pops up, if it doesn't, I'm taking it for wherever it is. But I'd rather find.
The Bengals have been very, very nice for people who have tailed them, who have backed them for sure. I'm waiting on the rush attempts for Joe Mixon to pop up. I'm just waiting. I keep refreshing, probably every half hour or so.
What? I didn't realize.
Mixon? No, he's good. He was healthy last week, and the week before he kind of split with Samaje Perine, but now he's totally fine. Didn't run the best against the Ravens, but tough defense there. He did have that breakthrough touchdown run to kind of seal the game there. But I am looking for it to be in that 15 or 16 range, and I will take that once it pops up. If it's anywhere higher than that, I probably won't. But I do think it could be anywhere between 17 and 20 touches for Mixon.
I like the minus 10, under the impression that Mixon wasn't playing. Now that he's playing, that I know he's playing, I like it. Even more now.
Mixon's fine. And sleeper for anybody who plays DFS, it was T. Higgins. I don't know if they got the receptions up here. So over 4.5. Damn it, it's at minus 165. So he got I think 10 targets last week, but he didn't do anything. So everybody's talking about Jamar Chase. Watch T. Higgins this week. Watch him very closely. I want this number to maybe go to 5.5 so I get better odds. But 4.5, minus 165 sucks. So I really think this because he gets all the underneath, and I really like this guy. T. Higgins, humongous big body guy. But everybody's talking about Jamar Chase. Higgins is the guy that kind of gets him down the field. Chase is the kind of the sexy big play guy, So watch him for that for DFS. You can throw him in your lineups as well for T. Higgins. Next game, probably my favorite game of this slate. Steelers Browns are going to be kind of in your face, old school football here. I think this is going to be similar, but a little bit more high scoring with this Titans Colts game. Titans Colts game. When I first saw this line, I swear I was just like, what am I missing here? Why are the Titans dogs? They just beat the Bills. They just beat the Chiefs. And, now you're dogs against the Colts. So I first wanted to take the Titans. Then I was looking more into it. And apparently this is like a must-win game for the Colts if they want to stay in the division. Like a must-win game. Otherwise, the Titans just like wrap this division up. So there's motivation on both sides here. Julio Jones is out. Jonathan Taylor is running like a madman. Both of these running backs are running very, very well. If it's -2.5, I'm leaning the Colts here. I'm taking it right here with the Colts, -2.5. What about you, Azim?
I don't care what number it is. I'm taking the Colts. I think they're all around a better team. And to even break it down further, I don't think the Titans should have beat the Bills. I think that was a very stupid decision not to take it into overtime. Then the Chiefs, I've been saying this whole season, I've been saying since last season, that the Chiefs are overrated. They're very predictable. Anybody can beat them with the right adjustments. The Titans came out and did just that last week. They brought the right adjustments and they beat the Chiefs. I don't think the Chiefs are that great. I know everybody wants to ride the Chiefs. I'm not one of those people. I don't like their play style. And the Titans showed me and everybody else in the world that what I meant by that. It was very predictable. All you have to do is a couple of things to stop them. You just need to look at Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, and you're pretty much done. That's 80% of their game, and that's what they did. I don't think the Titans. I think the Titans are, matter of fact, getting a lot of recency bias here. I think the Colts should have been a -4.5 favorite. In reality, if the Titans don't beat the Colts and don't beat the Chiefs, where would you have this line? You'd probably have this at Colts -4.5,
Yeah.
-5 maybe. Um, and again, like I said, the Chiefs are overvalued, and Titans shouldn't have beat the Bills. I still like the Colts for who they are. I still think Jonathan Taylor. I'm gonna really love this Jonathan Taylor
Yep.
Derrick Henry matchup, and I'm gonna enjoy it so much. But I entirely expect the Colts to be able to put up, you know, easy points. The Titans have a decent defense, but not enough for the Colts, in my opinion. While the Colts, they won't slow down Derrick Henry. Nobody can. But I think they might be able to put a little stop to AJ Brown's game.
Yep. No.
Well, that's
the one way you beat the Colts is through the air. So you you
oh,
you
I mean,
you need to beat them through the air. They're the probably #1 run defense in the league, and they are like they're
oh, you're right. I have my notes.
yeah, they're like
right.
they're chomping
Right.
at the bit at this matchup just to stop Derrick Henry. They're very, very excited for this game.
Right.
However, I mean Tannehill's still pretty damn good, and if Julio was in, I would have been a little bit more hesitant because that gave them one more legit receiver. I still like AJ Brown a lot this week for DFS. This game is one of my top stacks as well, but I like the Colts side a little bit more, and then running back with an AJ Brown. Otherwise, you're going to worry about like Chester Rogers, Anthony Fursker, and the Westbrook kid. Like 3 no-name. No, not D.D. Westbrook. It's like he's got like 3 names. I can't remember his last name, but he's been okay for him. But outside of Henry and AJ Brown, this Titans team doesn't like scream like, wow, this team is contenders, or and I wouldn't say contenders because they've obviously beat pretty damn good teams. But in this matchup here, I favor the Colts, and I just think it's a matchup that the Colts have been waiting for. They've kind of revived their season with a couple of wins, and especially that win in that tsunami at 49ers is going to catapult them here. I like the Colts -2.5. It's the best number to get to.
Yeah. I would take it at any number. I don't have an official player on it though, but I would take it at any number. I'm a big fan of the Colts too, though. So it might be a little bit biased, but I don't see the Titans. Like you said, I had my notes backwards, right? I still don't think they can stop Henry now, though. As I was speaking, that I don't think they can stop.
I don't know if you can stop him, but you can contain him a little bit. Let's see what his rush yards projected is. It's got to be probably one of the lower ones you probably see on the slate. Damn, it's still 104.5. It's
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna contain him. I don't know.
man. What's his anytime touchdown? Minus 165.
Titans defense did not get. Titans
No,
defense is
Titans
not
defense
that great.
is horrific, and the Chiefs made them look like they were all pros at each position. So
They still are
oh
ugly.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Titans are horrible.
I just think
Talking to the our
Pittman,
good boy.
Pascal, and you got T.Y. Hilton coming back. And he's good boy says, yeah, their secondary was ugly in the first couple weeks. 100%. I mean,
And they still. It was just the Chiefs
yeah,
being the
yep.
Chiefs, right? Like they're so predictable. They're super predictable for the last 3 years. 80 or like I think it's like 77% of their plays went to Tyreek Hill or Kelsey. That means all you have to do for 3/4 of the game, they're 3/4 of their offense is Kelsey and Hill. All you have to do is watch them.
Yeah.
Forget everybody else. And that's what the Titans did. Even with the horrific secondary, you can't be. I mean, these are professional athletes.
Yeah.
You can't be predictable. Not to that level. That's why the Chiefs lost. I think Colts
But this is
that
such
predictable.
a great line for the casual to get trapped right here because they see the recency. They see, oh wow, the Titans just beat the Bills. They just beat the Chiefs. How the hell are they dogs? I'm 100% taking them. I'm taking the points. I'm doing this. But if you deep dive, you literally look at this game, the Colts should end up winning this game for sure. And Tennessee is 5-1 against the spread in its last 6 games. Indianapolis is 5-1. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah.
That's interesting.
Man, it's a very trappy line for the public right here. And that's why I'm hoping people can look at this stream and go to this game and see. I really, really like the Colts. It's probably going to be my favorite play on the board.
Colts are also getting more of the money. It's pretty even though, right? So like we're getting 43% of the bets towards the Colts, 51% of the money. So it's only an 8% positive difference, and by Saturday that could by Sunday it could be diminished, right? So no, I agree. This game is for the most part a stay away. But yeah, I mean at 2.5, the Colts are the play. Maybe even at 3. At 3.5, you really have to consider just watching the game and enjoying it for what it's going to be.
Hey, and I mean, we haven't said it yet, but Carson Wentz has been a revelation. Besides that left-handed shit toss softball throw, I have no idea what the hell that was. But I think that was just a combination of weather and all that stuff. So I'm going to let him slide on that. But other than that, he's been playing very, very well. And Good Boy says, this game was a stay away for me entering this pod, but now I love the Colts. Yeah, when you look at it, just from a betting perspective, you just gotta sometimes see throughout that recency bias that the Titans have. And somehow, some way, I think that's a pretty good trap line from Vegas to get some money on both lines, which they have done here pretty well.
And the Titans are getting 57% of the bets, right?
Yep,
People are getting trapped.
Yep. All right.
But very, very minimally, but they are, right? So.
All right, so we got a short line here, shorter line than I thought in the Patriots-Chargers game, and this was at 5.5. It went down to 4.5. So a lot of people are liking the Patriots here. Azim, who are you on?
Yeah, I hate this game entirely, but intuitively I want to take the Chargers. But my three of my best trends are showing the Patriots, and you know how I am. I bet my trends. So I'm on the Patriots plus 4.5. Now, I believe in my trends more. I'm not going to lie. I mean, these are 3 of my best trends, right? I've worked diligently to find these trends and find these systems and, polish them out. So I'm going to put my trust into them. And so I'm going to believe here that the Patriots are going to cover here. But intuitively, I want to be able to say the Chargers are going to win. I mean, why are they a 4.5 favorite to the Patriots? Only a 4.5 when they've looked so well, last week was horrible for them. And then the Patriots last week killed it, right? But they also played the Jets. So it's like, where is this line being so short from? Like if I told you like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that the Chargers and the Patriots will be playing each other, what would you put the line at? You'd easily say -6.5, -7, or -7.5. and we're like a whole 3 points off that number. Um, so I don't understand why it's that low, but I don't know if it's meant to be a trap for the Chargers, because like I don't know if I'm thinking like a public better right now and saying, oh, the Chargers only in 4.5, I should take the Chargers, because the Patriots
Right.
are getting the money, and the majority of the books have this at +4. I personally have it at +4.5, but the majority of books have it at +4. So I mean, just entirely all around. Um, Everything's pointing towards the Patriots. And sometimes when it doesn't make sense, it makes all the sense, right? So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to take the
Yeah.
Patriots plus
And
4.5.
and I think what's skewing this a little bit is that Austin Eckler popped up on the injury report after Wednesday's practice. I think his hip or something like that, and he did not practice against Day. Staley said he's going to see how he feels on Sunday to end up playing. Um, that could probably tie into it. A couple trends that I've seen. Belichick is 28-14-2 against the spread as an underdog. And he's got a 23-21 record straight up in those games. So again, you got a lot. It's different because that was Tom Brady as his quarterback, and now you got
Yeah.
Mac Jones. So
Yeah.
those trends from Bill back in the day are very, very tough to follow. Those are just ones that I kind of want to just throw out there. But yeah, you got to think this line's low for a reason, and I'm personally staying away. I don't have a solid read in this game. I do think the over is kind of inflated. I don't know how it's going to be 49.5 if the Patriots are going to win this game and everybody thinks they're going to win this game or cover, that means their philosophy is going to beat the Chargers in their philosophy. So what do the Patriots want to do? They want to have long drives, run the ball down people's throats.
Right.
I don't know how this gets to 50 points if that's the case. So that's why I lean the under, especially if the Patriots get their way.
Possibly, yeah. I don't have anything on the total. Um, just looking at money right now, though, you're entirely on the right side of the money. 37% of the bets on the under, 92% of the money, plus 55%
What?
differential. So
On the over?
yeah.
Oh,
On the under. So you're on the right side. You're on the right
shit.
thought process.
Well, it's not good. I don't like to go with the money. It's not.
You
Do you like the
don't?
money?
I love
That means
the
that they
money,
take
man.
it all. That sucks.
No, the
Sorry,
money is
sorry.
the sharp.
I thought you meant like the percentage of bets. Sorry. Got it.
Oh no, I hate the
Yeah,
percentage of bets. No,
Because I was like that. Yeah.
I like the games, 37% of bets or something, and then like a
Yeah.
ton of money coming on it, because that just tells me I'm
Got it.
following the sharps.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm staying away from public and
Got it.
big
Now I
money.
get what you're saying. But no, I mean that's how my thought process is. If the people are thinking the Patriots have a chance, then 50 points is incredibly too much in this game. Good boy says this game is a
Yeah,
problem.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a lot of these lines are incredibly sharp this week. You gotta believe it is going to
Mhm.
be that case because it's week 8. You gotta truly dig deep into these games and put your recency bias away and just say, okay, straight up, these guys in a vacuum, what's going to happen? And a lot of times the public just gets screwed on what happened in the last 8 weeks. So it's tough to see.
I think the sharper these lines get, the more my trends will start hitting, though, right? Because a lot of my trends actually dive in on either line movement or money movement or things, or even lines, right?
Yep.
Just how they're set. So I'm kind of happy that they're getting more and more sharp as the season gets long,
Right.
which is what you would expect. But at the same time, intuitively, it reduces your and mine efforts, because intuitively, in week 1 and 2, we were able to look at games and be like, oh, we know where we're going with this. And now we have to go through
Oh, yeah.
hours and hours and so much research to be able to determine which
I
side
would
we're looking
I
at.
would have 4 to 5 plays already in my head written up for VIP, everything like that. And now it's like, okay,
Right.
I'm gonna wait, dissect all this injury information, all this information I have to do, and then I'll make my lineups or like my VIP card or whatnot. So like week by week you have to just dissect it more thoroughly for sure. So the next game we got is the Jaguars at the Seahawks, a game I have no no desire to even watch or bet on. So I'm I'm completely out of this game. I don't even have a side I would take. Like if someone had a if
If you
someone had a
want, we
gun
could.
to my head, I would just say shoot me. it's,
It's
it,
It's an
it's
interesting game. I prefer to pick the Jaguars though because again the Seahawks not using Geno
yep,
Smith whatsoever. They're not giving him the. I mean I know it's Geno Smith. You don't want him to throw the ball, but nobody wants him to throw the ball. You just have to let him throw the ball because Russ is out. We get that that's not your first option, but he is a quarterback. You got to let him be a quarterback, and Pete Carroll's just not letting him be. And for that purpose, I'd rather take the Jaguars because at least they'll let Trevor Lawrence do something. And I'll put a trust into a team with a quarterback than a team with a centerpiece of a quarterback, right? I mean, they're literally using him as a free
right.
body on the field. Um, so I mean, I'd rather take the Jaguars here, but I
Yeah,
would just stay away. There's no
no,
reason to bet this game. And let's be real, you're not going to watch this game. If you're betting and watching this game, I need you to call the
yeah.
gambling
I mean,
hotline.
unless you thoroughly think you have an advantage in this game, I don't see it. I,
Yeah,
I, man,
I personally have the over here, and I don't even
yeah,
think I'm going to
because
bet it.
if you've seen the Seahawks play, for whatever reason, they just go through like a quarter and a half where they say, "Hey, Gino, you're not going to throw a pass. We're just going to keep running it," and it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So, I mean, if you want to just go
Yeah,
contrarian and say, "Hey, let's go Jags +4 or Jags money line, go right ahead," I don't, I don't have a care in the world for this game whatsoever. So I'm 100% off. Not even going to discuss what I would ever take in this game. That's just how I feel about it. It's so ugly.
well, right. I have the over, and I don't think I'm going to play it because it's like I'm
Yeah,
not going to watch the game. I don't want to watch the game, and even with the over, what do I really expect to happen? Do I really expect them to hit the over? Like me and you talked about it. Geno Smith again doesn't get the opportunity to do anything. So why would I trust the over to hit? Even if the Jaguars could put up a few points, do I expect them to put up 44 by themselves or anything of that nature, or even 30? Right, because if the Seahawks even get to 40, I need the Jaguars to put up 31. Can I expect them to do that?
right.
That's not no. So I mean, I'm in such a difficult situation here because I like to bet all my plays off of all my trends, and now all of a sudden I'm looking at playing the over 44 and a half,
Yeah.
and I don't want to.
So we'll go to the next game. We'll go football team at Denver, and this game is it's probably the one of the more intriguing games to me of the week because I it's not where it's like the Jaguars and the Seahawks where you don't have an absolute idea. Both of these defenses were supposed to
Right,
be very good, and they're horrible. I mean, they're
right,
like they're beyond bad. They're really really bad. So part of me thinks maybe this 44 and a half isn't or is too low, but then you flip it and you look at the offensive side of the football of these guys. It hasn't been much better. So it's like, man, you
right.
really really think that? I mean, the positive here, you're getting Jerry Judy back for the Broncos. How effective he will be is yet to be seen. But Sutton and Fant, and then you still have the two-headed monster, Javante Williams and Melvin Gordon, with a not so
Hmm.
healthy football team's offensive side. You still got Gibson with that slight fracture in his shin. Then you lost Logan Thomas already, so you got Seals Jones, and then you have Scary Terry, who still does his thing, but I don't think he's 100%. So I favor the Broncos in this matchup from a betting perspective of the 3.5. I really wish I could get to 3. If it ends up being 3, that'll probably be a play, or I might buy it, or I could possibly buy it or go over 44.5. What do you think about this game, Azim?
Yeah, I entirely agree with you. I'm taking I mean, I'm not taking the Broncos because I don't have an official play on there. But if I'm taking something, it's the Broncos here, just because they're returning people, right? And so with that intention, like with the idea that they're returning people, you're gonna see a few different things happening, out on the field that you know, you'll see them be more of a team, more of who they were supposed to be, and I think that just might be the little push that they might need, little boost that they might need to get over, the Washington football team, who of course haven't been performing in any regards what we thought that they
I
would
mean, not
be.
at all.
So yeah, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna believe that the Broncos, returning Judy, with Melvin Gordon being a little bit healthier, I'm gonna believe that they're gonna they're going to be able to come out here and win a game with fair ease. Matter of fact, I think this will be a couple
Yeah,
touchdowns game. I don't think Washington's
I'm,
good
I'm
enough to put up points.
I was kind of scared when I bet the Broncos at the Browns last week because I didn't think Bridgewater was that hurt. And then all of a sudden, I turn on the damn TV. I see him limping in pregame. I'm like, this guy can't be going out there being a quarterback. He's limping. What the hell? Why don't you just play Drew Lock? And the first half was abysmal. Luckily, I got the line of plus 3.5, and they lost. And they only lost by 3. But I mean, I was just like stunned. So I think give another week. Bridgewater's a little bit more healthy, and I favor the Broncos here. Another avenue you could go is the team total points here, over 24.5 for the Broncos. The football team gives up close to 30 points a game. They limited the Packers to 24 last week, but the Packers had 2 or 3 drives where they were like within the 10, and they ended up not scoring. I think they went with a forward on fourth down and whatnot, and they didn't score. So they should have easily gotten to 30 points. This football team cannot stop anybody. So I'm just hoping that Bridgewater is a little bit more healthy.
Right. Yeah, I'd be on that as well.
And then probably the premier game of the Sunday, especially the 3:30 slate, the Bucks at the Saints, Superdome. Love this game, completely. I favor, sadly, I mean not sadly, but like I cannot believe I'm backing Jameis Winston, but I kind of favor the Saints here at plus 4.5. It was at plus 5.5, and I went plus 4.5. I am. I don't know why. What do you think, Azim?
I'm glad you said that because I am a Saints fan and I hate myself for it, but I'm taking the Bucks. I'm down. Yeah, I'm having to fade my own team, and it's breaking my heart. It really is, but I'm gonna take the Bucks here, just as a smarter, better. I have a lot on the Bucks. I have a lot pointing me towards the Bucks, and I'm gonna take the Bucks here. And I hope I'm wrong. But at least in this case, if I'm wrong, then at least my team wins, and then if I'm right, then my team loses, but at least I make money. So it's kind of a win-win. I'm negating it, but. Man, I'm surprised you said the Saints.
I don't know why, but I just have this I've like this
feeling
picture in my head, this just reminiscence of the Superdome and how many teams just go in there and just absolutely get wrecked. And maybe that's what's coming back to my memory, but like I get it, it's Tom Brady and it's just this crazy offensive guru.
Was Jay Winston versus team too.
This Saints defense is absolutely legit, and Sean Payton always has his guys ready. It's just, man, 4.5 scares me. Could the Bucks win by a touchdown? Obviously, I'm not gonna officially have a play in this, but I'm leaning the Saints.
So I'm waiting for the -4. I haven't bet the -4.5. I'm waiting for the -4. It's not going to climb higher than the -4.5. It's not going to get past the -5. I just looked at the money line, or I mean the line movement, and I've been tracking the line movement on this game for a while now, and it just can't jump over that hump of 4.5. So I'm hoping it comes back down to 4, but I don't think it's going to get to 5. So if I can't get it back at 4, then I'll buy the 4.5. But I'm waiting for the -4. But man, that's surprising. I mean, I definitely think the Saints can win this. What a storyline that would be. James Winston versus the whole team. Also, Sean Payton versus Tom Brady, another one classic. One of the classics. Superdome, place to be at, right? Just all in all, this is shaping up to be like a huge upset. However, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna take the Buccaneers and hedge my.
How do you feel about
feelings.
the total?
I think this might go over. But your 50.5 is absurd because I'm seeing 49.5 everywhere else.
That's not good.
Yeah. At least that's what Action Network is showing. So, yeah. I mean, it's saying places are 49.5. But if I'm looking at the total, I think this goes over, I think this could be a potential shootout. I mean, that's about it, right? I don't. You made a mention about the defense, but I don't think the defense is gonna actually play in here. I think it's really gonna be about Jameis Winston. I think he's due for one of those crazy Jameis Winston games where he goes off for 5 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. We haven't seen that from him. Kamara's usage has been lower. I think Sean Payton comes back and adjusts that this game. Decide because Kamara used to be used a ton, you know and just recently he hasn't been used quite as much as he has been. And I think Peyton's going to come out and say let's dial it back, because I'm sure Brady and the Bucks defense have been sitting in that sorry, not Brady, but the Bucks defense have been sitting up in their film rooms looking at Kamara and saying, oh, he's not going to be running the ball. I think Peyton's going to go back and dial it back and say, okay, let's start using Kamara a little bit more this game and dial it back
Another
a little bit.
another another
I think it's a playoff.
yeah. No, another interesting piece you can throw into the puzzle here is they just traded for Mark Ingram, and the reports are saying that he's going to play this game. He knows the offense. He's ready to go,
Right.
and that's another way that the Saints offense can extend drives. Because I think that's what they were missing. Because Kamara's never been the guy who bangs in between the guys and ends up extending drives. He's a finesse player. They got their guy back with Mark Ingram. I think he can extend drives, keep Tom Brady off the field. So I don't know. In my head, I just lean the Saints. I lean the
To the
Saints.
red zone. Yeah, if they get to the red zone, I think they're looking at scores
Oh
with
yeah,
Kamara. And I think you're right with Mark Ingram. They're going to be able to extend those drives, and they're going to be able to get themselves in the 20. And once they do that,
oh yeah,
Kamara's scoring.
yeah. He's
Whether you
minus
or not.
150 to score. So yeah, you got to think he's going to be in there for sure. So then Sunday night game, we got the Cowboys at the Vikings. Everybody's hopping on this Vikings game or Vikings side of the game because of Dak's injury. No word on his designation yet, so I'm completely off of this game. You could take it as the Vikings on a hunch, but obviously if Dak suits up, you're going to get a lot of value here if you got Cowboys +3. So it's just a wild card. I'm not going to have a play on it just yet. What do you got, Azim?
I don't care. First of all, I have nothing official on it. But I don't care if Dak suits up or not. Give me the Cowboys at the +3 here.
Who's their
Um,
backup?
uh, I don't think the backup will matter. I think it's really just going to
Hmm.
come down to Zeke. I think it's just going to come down to Zeke and Pollard. You have two good backs. Um, Cowboys. Who is their backup, man? I want to say. What? Why am I forgetting this?
Yeah,
I'm literally
I
from.
thought that's why I thought you
Uh,
knew.
yeah, I should know. I should know. I feel like an idiot for not knowing.
Cowboys backup
Um,
QB. Let's see depth chart. What we got? Cooper Rush. There we go. Cooper Rush.
oh yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Cooper
Well, I
Rush.
should have known that. Uh, yeah, yeah. See, now it clicks in. Yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me if Dak's in or not. I think the +3. First of all, I'm not a big fan of the Vikings. Second off, even further than that, I think Pollard and Zeke are two good backs that are going to continue to extend drives. I think it's going to be a very, Dalvin Cook versus Zeke kind of game. And I like the +3. I also like the fact that I like the receiving core, right? So I don't care who the quarterback is. I think CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper will be able to at least get open here and there, right? We'll be able to come out with a few routes that are going to get them open, to where Cooper Rush, any quarterback, even a backup, could find them open. And it's not like you only have one receiver that the defense has to worry about, and then you also have to worry about one receiver getting guarded. You have
Yeah.
multiple options. I mean, all the way. You have two receivers and a tight end, and then two backs who can all catch. You have 5 catching options. The quarterback is just naturally going to be good, and because you have so many people you could pass to, and then even more so if you need to run the ball, you still have two great options to run. I mean, in fact, you could even have CD sweep
Mm-hmm.
around and run. So I don't think um, I don't see the Vikings beating the Cowboys, um, even at the +3.
Yeah, and the one thing that does scare me about Dak playing is that he sounded like the decision wasn't fully his, and he said it did. He thinks it did stem from the ankle fracture that he that he got last year. So he kind of it might be a compound
Hmm.
of an injury. Maybe, yeah, maybe he
I hope
doesn't
it's not.
play. But as good boy says, I can't back Cooper Rush to beat the Vikes. I don't blame you there. It's tough. It would have to be an extremely valiant effort by this Cowboys defense, which you definitely can see. But they definitely could potentially win the game for him. Kirk Cousins has been known to throw a bunch of picks. So, but you got Cook and Jefferson.
I mean, look, you're looking at Trayvon Diggs. You're looking at Trayvon Diggs on the other side. I mean, the guy's a menace. Trayvon Diggs has what,
Yeah,
7 picks through six
crazy.
games. I mean, and he's gonna expect that, right? He's gonna lock. I don't think he's necessarily gonna lock up Justin Jefferson, but him being in the vicinity of Justin Jefferson will take up
Right.
a huge target option for Kirk Cousin. And one thing you could even look at is probably um, props for Thielen. Because I think Justin Jefferson, I think Kirk Cousins is going to be
Yeah.
scared to pass it to Justin Jefferson. So one thing you can look at is
Mm-hmm.
potential reception props for um,
Who we
Adam
got?
Thielen.
Let's see.
But I agree with Good Boy in the sense that I don't see a reason to play Dak either. There's no reason to play Dak. You're already in, the lead of your division. You let him rehab as long as he needs to take. You're going to win your divisional games with or without Dak. You just have that big of a, you have that much better of a team. I don't care if Cooper Rush starts. If you're playing the Giants, the Eagles, or the football team,
Yep.
you're winning all of those games. So that's at
Yep.
least 3 more wins coming your way, or 4 more wins coming your way. So for me, but with the Vikings, I still think that the Cowboys will be able to
And then
beat
you
them.
got Good Boy says Cowboys have the division on lock. I don't see a reason to play Dak and risk furthering the injury. I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. I ultimately don't think Dak suits up. Just the tone he was talking in his press conference, saying it wasn't his decision fully, how it could have happened with this, with his ankle injury, like a compound injury. It just doesn't seem like it's something that he particularly feels confident in. Maybe they rest and go next week. But yeah, I agree. What do you got?
Here's my take on this. Do you think the line, or here's my question on this: do you think the
Yes,
line moves further
I think
down?
this gets to like 3.5 or 4.5. If and as soon as Dak is inactive, people are going to pound the Vikings. They already have because it went
Okay.
from what was it 1.5 to 3 just before we got on stream. So it's going to
Right.
keep pounding for sure. It's,
Well, in that case, I'd wait for the line, but I still
yeah,
think the Cowboys
yeah.
can
I
win
mean,
this
especially
outright.
being a primetime game when everybody's Cooper Rush is playing. Nope, got to go Vikings. We're going to go Vikings. Yeah. So
I mean, you have to consider, this injury came from the last game. That means from practice number one, or from the bye,
yep,
because they're just
yep,
coming off the bye, and so that means practice number one, from their last game up until now, they've known about this. So they've played Cooper Rush. That means in their practice with the first team for 2 weeks now.
right.
You see what I'm saying? So that he's going to come in. He's going to be comfortable. So I mean, he might not be. I mean, of course, Cooper Rush is not going to be Dak Prescott, but he's going to be comfortable. And I think with the Cowboys team that has as many weapons as it does, that's all you need to be. That's
Well,
all you need to be is
and
comfortable.
Good Boy throws a crazy trend in there. It's in the chat. Six favorites are 6-38 against the spread in the last 44 games. And what I was looking at this morning was, I mean, that's an insane stat, and you never ever really see that too much in the NFL. But especially this one is road underdogs under a touchdown. They are 30-12 against the spread this year, and we have you know
I mean, that's a hit with
that's got to
regression,
hit
in
with
my
regression.
opinion.
That's in prime time. Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's even more bizarre that it's in prime time like
Oh,
that.
let's go. I'm right then. Let's go.
the
No regression.
no,
No
yeah. So
regression.
that stat that I had this morning with the road underdogs of under a touchdown this year are 30-12 against the spread, and they're also 25-17 straight up. So they're just outright winning. So this would fall in there. Cowboys the football team, Jaguars, Patriots, Titans. No, that's not going to fall in there. Not this one. But the Panthers. Then you got the Steelers. Road dogs under a touchdown. There's a bunch of them this week. So maybe they've already hit, and now they're not going to hit. A little positive regression in that area. So we'll get into the final game of the week. We got the Giants at the Chiefs. Chiefs coming off of a horrific game against the Titans. And this line is moving in the Giants' favor crazily. I think it was at 10.5 for the Chiefs, and now it's at 9 Chiefs. So a lot of people are going on the Giants here. You got to play
my
this game?
take on this is I do, and that's the problem. Right? I have a play on the Giants and the Chiefs. So if this line gets back to 10, then I have no play. But if it doesn't get back to -10, then I'm going to be playing the Giants here, which I kind of like because I'd be following the line movement. But this was one of those games. In the beginning of the stream, I said that I have a game this week that is a huge favorite that I have something against. And what I have against what I have against the Chiefs with the Giants is actually one of my better trends. And so I kind of want to follow the Giants, but we'll find out with the game coming around, and Monday night I'll know what I'm taking them.
Yeah, there's a lot of bets to be placed on this game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I was thinking about going Cardinals and Chiefs teaser, and I'm like, man, I really got screwed on those with the Cardinals. Man, I was thinking about teasing a lot of stuff with the Cardinals because I didn't trust the 6.5 last night, but because I even typed it out to my VIP. I'll give it out. Cardinals -6. However, Aaron Rodgers in primetime scares me. It was frustrating. But
Bills and that's teaser for this week.
Yeah, Bills Rams. I like that. Good Boy says the fix is in, boys. Yeah, it definitely is. We hopefully we helped you guys throughout. This is a little bit longer of a stream, an hour and 15 minutes. So if you guys are rewatching this, we appreciate you guys getting all the way to the end. But hopefully we helped you guys make a little bit more informed decisions, gave out a couple more free plays for everybody. And then tomorrow, Wager Rakes, Azim, me, and Source Podcast, we should have another parlay play for the NBA. So be on the lookout for that. This slate in the NBA for a Friday night was absolutely horrific. I don't know why they did that because they're just starting their season and the lines were just really, really bad. There was zero value. I thought we all three thought there's no reason to force it. So we will be back with a play tomorrow. RWB 1231, first time chat. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Loving the streams and picks, Johnny Boy. What's up, man? Cheers, gents. Thanks for tuning in, good boy. Azim, any final thoughts you got?
Let's just watch this week and see what happens. A lot of things to learn from this week, i.e. the Lions, how they're going to play these future games. Are the Chiefs worth any more bets ever in the future again? What else? The Bengals, will they start getting the respect that they deserve? Yeah. Buccaneers, Saints, that's another game. So let's just power through this week and enjoy it for the great week of football it will be. And let's reconvene and talk next week about our games.
And one thing I'll add to the final thought here, these lines are sharper. Control your bankroll and make sure you're not just blindly saying, oh, Cooper Rush is the quarterback, let's just throw it in there. That's how you lose money in the NFL. I somewhat did it last year because I was up about 20 units, and then I slowly tailed in the middle, and then I got better towards the end because I kept telling myself I got to put 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 plays out every week. You don't have to. You can limit it to 2 or 3, and then 1 week, and the next week if you find a lot of plays that you like, go 4 or 5. So just try to limit yourself. Just because there's games on does not mean you have to bet it. So that's my final thought there. The Sunday morning 10:30 live show on the dot. We will be, or I will be here. Azim will be back on Friday, next Friday as we deep dive. Appreciate you guys all tuning in, and we will be back Sunday morning 10:30 for free picks, props, and my survivor pick of the week. So appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you guys later.